One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. To let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in its soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides onto wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his maximum cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he paves his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
Woo! Welcome to Insane Wheels with Hardwire 1%er and special guest Mike Ball.
Yeah, I'm the guest here, everybody. Much love and respect to everybody. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out and tuning in with your boys, man. What a legendary moment that we've got right now. So you just drove all the way across from the other side of basically the country. It's like you didn't do like coast to coast kind of thing, but you did from one spectrum of the Midwest, right? And then all the way through over to where I'm at. And we were actually talking about how it was all, constitutional carry states on your way here, which was pretty cool because you don't get that over in California and basically the coasts. It's definitely rough. So anyways, I want to thank you so much for first of all, coming and hanging out with me in the first place. And then being willing to actually want to come onto the camera and come onto the show and discuss your life and, a little bit about you. You know what I mean? So why don't we go ahead and let you go ahead and do an introduction of yourself and put out what you would like to put out.
Good morning. It was about 10 hours down here. I'll tell you what, Mike Ball does not disappoint. I come down here and he's a really good dude, and I'm glad we got a chance to meet. Everything's been real nice. The area's nice. It's really, really country.
Yeah, it's real country out here, man.
Not all that different from where I'm from.
Which is weird because I thought that Ohio, I always had a different picture of what that would look like. You know what I mean? I always had a different outlook of what Ohio would look like. All right. But yeah, so anyways, so you did 10 hours, about 10 to 12 hours if you stop and do all of that kind of stuff. Which you did I think you only stopped for like gas and stuff, right? You were pretty much beelining. That's what I like to do when I'm, on the road. I don't like to like really explore. I like to go from point A to point B. Wherever I'm going, I like to just get there. But hey, so I know that we're not going to dive super deep into any, club specific anything. But what I would like to, ask you is you have done some amazing things within the club life. You have lived, I would say, a very just a very free spirited within the club scene, which is what we all, want to be able to do. What you can put out there, how did you start and get into the scene, first of all?
It's actually kind of interesting. My little brother started doing motorcycle club stuff before I ever did, and he called me up one day and got me involved in a club that was going about doing things the wrong way. And I didn't know any better at the time. They had numbers. So, he gathered up 30 guys that liked riding motorcycles, and we all just put cuts on and called ourselves a club. And that went sour pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which does happen, man. And not every single club just, goes off and just makes it. You know what I mean?
it seemed like it was going to be a good thing at first. And, well, when you get together a bunch of people that have no idea anything about motorcycle clubs, only like
Right.
2 people did. That's just the kind of thing that happens, especially whenever you get confronted by bad things and things the kind of things that can happen. People start turning and going, I didn't sign up for this, and then they start turning and going the other way pretty quick.
That's right. That's right. A lot of guys, all of a sudden they realize for the first time, like, oh shit, maybe I got myself into something a little too deep here, which is understandable. So how young would you say that you were when you first got introduced to the scene?
I wish I had started younger than I did. I was in 47 now. I got started in it probably in my late 20s.
Okay, that's not too. I would say that's early.
So I had wished I'd gotten started the right way and been introduced to things the right way. The scene in Ohio was kind of a strange one for a while. Ohio's a volatile area.
Mm-hmm. It's like, you mean club wise?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of struggling and arguing and fighting and bickering back and forth and not too much like major violence,
right?
But a lot of people trying to assert dominance in the area and trying to figure out who Ohio belongs to.
Totally.
And I
like
don't give
typical
opinions of who I think.
Right.
There's been a lot of strange things, clubs working together that you wouldn't think would work together.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes they're on an on point where they're working together, and then another time that all of a sudden they're not, and then they're on the fritz. Like, that's just like club life. It seems like that. Sometimes we're in an agreement, and almost like not necessarily a truce, or maybe a truce, or but hey, we're gonna try to be civil here, and then all of a sudden one thing happens from one person, from the one club, whatever, and then it pops off, and that it's back and forth thing. So would you say that, have you lived in Ohio basically your whole life?
Yeah, I've pretty much lived in the same area most of my life.
Oh, wow.
I moved up to Cleveland for a short spell whenever I was like 19, and then I moved back.
So how far is Cleveland from where you grew up?
About 100 miles.
Oh, so not too far.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy, because I've never actually been to Ohio, so I don't really know. Like, for instance, I didn't even know the landscape over there. I thought it would be more. Believe it or not, I kind of had the vision of it being a little bit more brown and deserty. You know what I mean? I don't know why I necessarily had that, or like dirt.
Very much like Alabama, except for we got baby mountains. I call them baby mountains.
Right. There's little baby ones.
The people in Tennessee and parts of West Virginia and Kentucky that have mountains would go, "Oh, how cute! You have baby mountains."
You gotta love it, dude. You gotta love it. So without getting into specifics, how did you do your progression through your club experience, club life? Leading up to basically the person that you've become now.
Well, I got out of that bad situation, that bad club,
Mm-hmm.
and I did meet some appropriate people that helped guide me to doing it the right way. And
you got to have those people in your life.
I got in. Let's just say I don't mention any clubs whether I like them or not.
Right.
I'm not going. I can't.
That's the best thing to do.
Any of them.
Yep.
I would say that I don't. Despite my club's distaste for a lot of clubs, I still have a respect,
of course,
for all clubs.
Yeah.
But I got in. I had basically been in with 3 of the major 4 big 4 clubs but I started with one. It wasn't necessarily a bad experience, except for mostly strife within the club that I was in. For example, me and my sergeant at arms fought constantly. It was
Boy, do I know that feeling.
He
right there.
actually snatched me up at the table.
Oh shit!
Grabbed me by my shirt, and it at the time the meeting was at my house.
Oh shit! So he's doing this at your own house.
At my own house.
Oh, dude, it's game on.
And yeah, I am usually one of the most friendly, agreeable
chill.
people. But when somebody does that,
oh
me,
yeah, it's now.
instant temper. And I said, all right, now it's outside. And back then it was 5 minutes.
Yeah, you get the
settle
it was not
issue.
2 minutes.
And I'm like, all right, outside we go. And we rumbled in my backyard with my kids in the house, which is what really upset me. You know?
Yeah, you're like, doing it here on my property and with my family here.
Yeah,
you know, yeah,
and,
that's crazy.
I ended up, and there was some things that about the dominant club at the time, the ones that got me started, the ones above us, it was a sport club, you know, and that I didn't appreciate about the way they treated their sport clubs, and I understand that's a very kind of a regional thing, depends on the chapters.
Totally.
But at the time, there were some things that I totally couldn't agree with and get along with about the way that we were treated. There was some issues with other rival clubs in the area,
right?
And we were too far away from them, and they wouldn't come and help us. And told us we were basically, if we wanted to hold that area, we were on our own as a sport club.
So you would actually see like a difference of treatment being in a support club rather than not being in a support club. You saw a difference of being treated a certain way.
They definitely didn't treat us very well.
And, that's too bad.
The funny thing is, one of my prospects in that club was a friend of mine. It's in small town Ohio. A lot of these guys I was in a club with. I'd grown up with. We'd known each other for years and years and years. Well, I brought one of the guys into that club. That was one of my friends, and he was prospected for me. And when we got out of that club, I was out for a little while, and he had invited me to one of the clubs that was a rival club of the club I was with.
Sure.
He had started a sport club, and they were kind of in control of that area. So you kind of go with a sport club, whoever the dominant club is in the area.
But now this is a rival of
the one that we had started the other club with. He said, "Hey man, why don't you just come hang out?" And he was actually the boss of the sport club that he had started.
Sure.
And I thought it was interesting, you know. Then I ended up being a prospect after hanging out with him for a while. I decided, hey, I missed the life. I'm going to go and do this. And I ended up being a prospect for essentially one of my old prospect, which is weird.
Isn't that like almost like roles are reversed? You know, like it's a good learning lesson too. I bet.
That worked okay for quite a while. But again, there was issues with the way they treated their support clubs. I mean, at times it was okay, but then there was times when they wanted to be Mr. Superiority and push you down and treat you like dirt, and
yeah, that's too bad. Like
there was some issues that ended up coming up. Me and you had talked about it. Some dumb things that ended up getting a bunch of the 1%ers that in our area that we were under thrown out, and they were good friends with us. The ones we liked, there was out of a nation, a huge nation, there was a few that we really liked, and a bunch we didn't. But they had started kicking out people that we liked over something stupid.
Is it basically politics?
Yeah, and
politics.
That whole chapter, and myself included, decided to lay our cuts down and walk away from that.
It's a big decision to do.
And then I was out again for a while. And it's the same guy. One day I said, you know what? I miss this stuff. I'm riding, and once it gets in your blood, it's in your blood, you know.
And you're riding slick back, and you're feeling like, man, like
you feel
I'm
naked.
missing. I'm missing something here.
And I missed it. And I called him up one day and I said, hey man, and he had ended up getting involved with the 1% Club. And I said, how's things going with you with that? And he said, it's going really well, actually. And he says, you'd be surprised at how much different and respectful these guys are.
Mm-hmm.
And I says, well, why don't I come and hang out? And I'll hang out for a while and just see and see how they, what I noticed of how they treat people. And it turned out that it was a very good experience. They treat people a lot differently. The structure, well, all club structures are very similar. Things went good, and I decided I understand that all the other clubs I was in were support clubs, so there are people that will try to say, well, I'll come over, but I shouldn't have to prospect, because I've been in sport clubs all these years and this and that.
So that
and
almost
it never
like that
fails. People try it.
It's almost like that entitlement. Like I've prospected one time, so now I'm good for the rest of my club life,
right?
Kind of thing. And it's like, well,
and
you got to learn
that I'd have to prospect. And I says, all right, man, I think I'm ready to take that step. I want to be a prospect. And they knew my history, that I had been with two other rival clubs, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me a hard time for it. Don't get me wrong, they did. And I probably prospected a little longer than a lot of other people would have.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel that. And that's a good thing, though.
I did it in my 40s.
Wow.
So it was.
That's impressive.
It was difficult.
Well, I mean, that's actually one of the questions that we have in here. Without getting into detail, Dozer says, what was one of the, the hardest part of your prospecting time? Because you had a few, you know what I mean? So, in different parts of your life, what would you say was one of the most challenging things that you've dealt with? Was it maybe an age thing where you felt like there was, when you're young, 20 in your late 20s, you could just get up 2 o'clock in the morning like it's nothing and just go, compared to when we've got jobs later on, we've got more solid foundation of careers, families, all of this stuff. So what do you think was one of the most challenging aspects?
I would say that being older, trying to do it when I was older, I always said, after my other two experiences, I said, the only way I'll ever prospect again is if I'm going to go ahead and decide I'm going to be in a 1% club.
And that was
because I will never prospect to be in a support club again.
Right. At that point,
my sport club experiences weren't good.
I can't, the truth is I have heard from a lot of people, and this is unfortunate, that the support club side of stuff, for the majority, and I hate to say this, but for the majority, it seems like they're not treated like you would hope and think they would. It seems like almost the general consensus of all the support clubs is that, unfortunately, they don't really get treated the best. They're kind of treated as almost like second-class citizens.
Right. It never made sense to me, because why would you ever want to treat somebody that you want to fight at your side?
Right.
And possibly, hopefully not, but if it come to it, fight and die, have your back, and then ever treat them any different than anybody else.
That doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense.
But it's like this. I think it's probably more of a power thing than it is anything else. They want to keep that separation, like you're down here and I'm up here, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's unfortunate.
And the club I'm with now, they don't do that much. It's
right.
They treat everybody pretty equally. Most everybody I've met have been good people, but no matter what club you're in, you're going to get jerks and and you're going to get a-holes everywhere. And I'm trying not to cuss, because I cuss like a sailor.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm with you on that. I actually was a sailor, so I feel that. And also, by the way, we got Alyssa saying, did he cover the presidential debate? Because if so, I need to go back and find it. Yes, I absolutely did. Anything that's going to be happening within the news, I pretty much cover everything. So absolutely. And Wolfheim, he says, how long did it take, to bring, get over to me? I think you said what, 10,
About
11,
10 hours.
something like that. So that's not too bad. You pretty much.
If I'd have been on the bike and had to, because the bike's, naturally got a smaller tank, I'd had to stop a lot more often.
Yes.
And originally I had planned it out that way. Then I seen it was supposed to rain and storm most of the way down. And it turned out to be nice the whole way down. But I told the wife this morning, I said, we'd had to get around down here, and it's been pouring down rain all day today, and it would have been miserable. So I'm kind of glad we drove down.
Oh yeah, no, because I would have had to go pick you up. To be honest, it was dumping so hard that I would tell you straight up, dude. Like I know you're more than capable of riding in the rain. I obviously know that, but especially when you come and visit me over here, I'm not going to allow you to do that. Maybe possibly put yourself at risk or anything like that. Or with your old lady as well. Forget that. I would have gone down and picked you up. But still, yeah, I'm glad that you drove too, because you don't know the weather going back yet. The weatherman is lying nonstop. And look at that. Show it off. Here, we'll
best year to be born, 1976.
Nice. I would say 95 is the best year, but I'm going to go ahead and be
95 was
biased.
a good year. I graduated that year, and it was a good year.
Yeah, that's a good year, right? If you were able to graduate, that's good. So we got Dozer asking, Mike, what was the hardest part of your prospect time? I would say one of the hardest things that I pretty much got to deal with was learning the culture and learning protocol. When I would do something like, I don't know, like for instance, if I didn't take off my glasses or something like that when I shook someone's hand, I would get totally reamed about it. These are just simple things that I'm sure that everyone has pretty much experienced within their prospectship. I didn't have anything crazy unique or anything like that, but I was the guy that was always chomping at the bit to help in any regard. You know what I mean? I would say the one thing is I was the only person in my entire club that I was a prospect, and nobody else in the entire club had gotten the national president drunk ever. Never happened. I was the one and only person that made that happen. And I did it as a prospect. So I would say that was one of the funnier things, but nothing that was too out of the ordinary, Dozer, just being honest. But yeah, it was a good time for me though. It was, I would say, one of the greatest times I ever had was during that time. And it taught me a lot, and something that I'll be forever is I'm not better than anyone ever. And that's something that prospecting taught me. That's why I think it's very important for the prospectship within your club life, everything. Doing that, it builds character, and it's not them like saying, like, oh, go wash my fucking bike, all this shit, because it does happen, but that's not what builds character. It's learning that we all put, in the middle for the betterment of the club. You're doing it selflessly.
The most important thing about prospecting is learning to put others ahead of yourself.
Yes. Being actually truly selfless, where you're going, okay, what can I do at all times to help out, my brothers or my future brothers, whatever the case is.
This is weird holding this microphone. I feel like I'm going to sing a song.
You're over there being
like
we got Elvis or something over here.
Surely to the sea.
That's right, kickstand. Yep. Damn millennials, dude. I know. I see you. Yeah, and that's also true. Be seen, not heard, and speak when spoken to. Your sponsor will guide you. Absolutely. And that's, hopefully everyone had a good sponsor, but not everyone gets a good sponsor either.
Sponsors too.
Oh yeah. You can have terrible ones.
Should teach you. You should get a hold of your sponsor every single day, and he should be teaching you some of the history of the club you're joining. That's important.
Oh yeah.
The history and
what everything means.
Rules of interaction. What to do if something does pop off, all very important stuff that they should teach you. And if you end up with a bad sponsor, they'll brush you off all the time and don't talk to you. And if that ends up being the case, if you ever prospect for any club and you're sponsor doesn't teach you, ask for another sponsor.
Right. You know, you can easily just go, hey, look, I feel like I'm not getting what I need from here. You know, I'm if it's all right, I'd like to have another sponsor, because I have seen where, you know, people are prospecting and they're going through their sponsor. And then, for instance, at the end of their prospectship, they don't even know what half the patches on their vest even mean. Like, what do you mean you don't know what, you know, you don't know what your own shit is? That's crazy to me. Is this the one you're looking at?
Yeah. What's it say?
It says Hardwire 1%er, what twos are you driving? Smiley face. So what kind of ride do you got?
Oh, I've got started out years ago. My first bike was actually a Kawasaki Vulcan 750. That's what I started.
Oh, wow.
on.
Wow.
And then after that, I graduated to my first Harley was a Softail. I was actually afraid to drive it off the lot. I made my friend do it because I was afraid I would wreck it in Harley dealer's parking lot.
That's hilarious.
And look like an idiot.
Hey,
so I didn't want to ride.
You're like, hey man, I'll let you do
that's
this.
No kidding. I said, hey man, will you ride this at least until we get out of here so I don't look stupid and lay it over in the parking lot? I've never ridden a Harley before. I was a little intimidated.
Well, they're a lot heavier than, you know.
But I tell you what,
other
my
bikes.
first time I sat on it and actually rode it, I went, wow, this thing rides better than them foreign. The foreign bikes are top heavy.
Yes.
And the Harley holds its weight lower.
Mhm.
So they're so much easier to handle. They ride better. Then after the Softail, I rode it around and I was riding around by myself for a while, and I decided I wanted a radio. And I won't, you know, I shouldn't say bad things about myself, but I was on pills and shit at the time.
No, that's being honest.
Stuff at the time, and went into a Harley dealership kind of high, and I was like, man, yeah, I want a stereo. Instead of taking the bike, this is what I wish I would have done, taking the bike I had and making it my own.
Mm-hmm.
I let them talk me into. I had $26,000 wrapped up in this bike, and they talked me into trading it in for $11,000 for an Ultra.
No way.
And
oh man,
I hated it. I thought it was an old man's bike. I didn't like it. And I ended up somebody talking me into letting them trade it for an old crappy house. And
really?
And
whoa.
A day into it, I said, dude, this house is way worse than I ever thought. You need to give it back. And then we ended up getting into a fist fight over it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and it went sour, went to court and all kinds of stuff. It was a bad deal.
Oh wow. That doesn't sound pleasant at all.
Ended up with a Dyna wide glide.
We're Dyna bros over here, you know what I mean?
It is almost exactly the same thing as a Softail with the suspension difference.
Right.
It's an inch shorter. And I liked it. But I ended up going through a divorce, falling on hard times, and have to get rid of that.
Yep. Damn. And sadly, you know, we love motorcycles, but it seems like it's always the first thing that has to go when shit gets real. You know, I mean, it happened to me. You know, like shit gets real. It's like, all right,
that holds value.
Yes, it holds value, and you're like, I know that I can get what I can out of this and be able to save the day in whatever aspect you need. Yeah. Crazy, dude.
And I ended up with another Dyna. I went to a car lot looking for a car, and the dealer says, "You kind of look like a biker." He says, "We took a bike in as a trade, and we're kind of really wanting to get rid of it." And that was it was a 2011, I think. It was an 07 bike. And
was it carbureted?
It's an 07. The bike's an 07. It happened in, I think, 2016.
Okay. So it wasn't like extremely long ago.
The guy says, well, we want $5,500 for it. And I was like, hell, that's a good deal. But I bet you it's being a car lot, I can get a better deal.
Sure.
So I said, how about $5,000 out the door? It only had 11,000 miles on it. It had chrome lowers on it, Vance and Hines big shots on it. I was like,
that's cool.
And I ended up getting it for $5,000 out the door. And everybody says, dude, I wish I could find deals like that.
Yeah,
And
hell
I
yeah.
never find deals like that. And I
So
still,
you're not
have
usually that
bike.
guy, you know, where you get deals and you just find shit. Because I have friends like that just find shit like as if it's just handed to them.
I am horrible at negotiating. I don't do well with that.
Right.
Like when I bought my Softail, I went in. The guy saw me coming. He knew I had money, and I tried to talk him down. He said, "Oh no, we can't do that." And I just went, "Okay." and then I ended up paying full price for it, like a dumb.
I mean, we learn those, you know what I mean? Going through life, we kind of realize, okay, well, now I got to take this as a learning lesson, because I could have, you know, maybe gotten, you know, this cheaper or whatever the case is. If you learn that it's a real skill to be able to negotiate, you know, I don't think it, because there is a bit of conflict in there. Not everyone likes conflict like that, being able to just do that. So I gotta commend you for being honest about that, because it's not a very easy thing to do. And that's right, Lisa. Make sure you guys like the video. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube. I appreciate you guys. I started the prospect for a club after making $500 on a bet. My cousin was the guinea pig. I gave the club enough to have 3 kegs. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, at least you gave some of it over to the club, man. That's good. That's good. But yeah, man, is there anything that you would like to specifically, before we, you know, pretty much wrap this on up, is there anything that you would like to discuss about your history in this?
Well, I have an Ultra Classic now. I wasn't quite done yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have an Ultra Classic now that I had bought, thinking I had the bright idea that the Dyna that I had got was like a brownish color, and I didn't like it. That I was going to paint it. Don't know how to paint.
Yeah, I don't know how to paint either.
And I parked it in the garage, took it apart, took the tins off, started studying painting videos, and
good on you.
I couldn't find the time to do it. And I wanted to ride, so I went out, bought me an Ultra, and I said, you know what? Now I'll have time to ride this bike and work on the other bike. And I ended up working on the Ultra instead and making it nicer, adding speakers to it. Mike's seen pictures of it. It's a nice bike.
It is. It very much is.
I didn't know much about it. It was all stock when I bought it, and I decided to do what I didn't do before and try to make it my own. I put a custom seat on.
I didn't know that you got that bike stock like that,
stock.
Because to me, that's I would have thought like at least you bought that bike halfway done to what you.
That's kind of how
now.
I ended up with the name Hardwire. They knew I wired up all the stuff, the speakers on my bike.
Oh,
I
that's a
wired
good
up
way.
all the lights. I was always wiring everything. I think that's kind of how they end up giving my nickname. The nickname that I had for the 20 years was already taken.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had
usually happens, right?
They had to find something else for me. My sponsor, I gave him. He asked me if I had any suggestions. I gave him a long list, and he picked something that wasn't even on the list. But whenever I patched in, he goes, "Okay, now I can give you your name." He says, "I was thinking about Hardwire." I says, "Dude, that's all right.
That's
a
good name."
I said, "It could be way worse." I met a dude that they gave the nickname Bubbles.
Hey, that's like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys. Nothing wrong with that. You know? But no, I know what you're saying, because people's names can be pretty fucked up. You know,
I come down here and Mike's been really awesome. If anybody else gets a chance to come down here and visit.
Oh man, I really appreciate you even saying that.
And I want you to know, all the other 1%ers out there, much respect and love to you, but just because you're 1%er doesn't mean you got to treat people like crap. It's not a license to be a jerk. Not everybody's like that, and I know that's usually who people end up meeting is the 1%ers that are real jerks. But you can ask Mike. I'm down to earth. I don't, and there are a lot of us that are.
Right.
It's just that those aren't usually the ones that
end highlighted
out there,
right? That
you end up seeing. There are a lot of 1%ers that are really cool guys, really down to earth people, have manners. And everybody, even if you are a 1%er, when you go out in public and you're dealing with people, you should have manners. You should still open the doors for girls, do good things, because you want to be perceived as you don't want to be perceived as those jerks.
As a negative,
nobody
right.
wants to join a club like that, and you don't want to have that. You don't want to have that image,
right,
to the local community. Anybody, it's just. I take issue. There are a lot of 1%ers out there that think just being a 1%er is all about being an arrogant jerk, and it's just not. It's all about being a professional club rider and being free, all those things. But it's not about being an arrogant asshole.
And that's what is super important. And I'm glad that you said that, because yeah, the negative people usually seem to get the highlight, right? They're the ones that usually get seen, because they're creating the loudest noise, right? And so when that happens, unfortunately, it can make a perception of something like this look bad. And then how does that look for the general public? And then even other members that are possible to come into your organization, if they see you guys being like complete dicks to each other, they're just gonna be like, or to other people, they're just gonna be like, dude, I don't even want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? And so I think that's a really cool thing that you said, because I have never allowed any patch to define or change me. You know what I mean? And I see that in you as well. And so that's really, really cool that you have look at it that way and see it that way. And he's very right. You know, he is down, just like how he is right now. This is how it's been the whole time. You know, it's been an amazing, amazing time. And Straight Jacket feels it too. Hardwire, you're a good dude. Absolutely. Much love and respect to you.
I hope I get
chat
a chance to meet all of you.
We do have it, Wolfheim.
Sometime.
We got our monetization back yesterday, or no, the day before, July 3rd, the end of July 3rd. But so we got it. We got it. I appreciate you. The weak ones are always the ones who act the hardest. Real men act like gentlemen and act like professionals, Steve Easy says. 1,000%. I'm going to give it to you. That's facts. Big facts right there. 1%ers were some mother's baby. They are mostly good people, but be respectful, because those guys have a full plate. And absolutely they do, Mark. I'm not going to say and sit here and say that it's an easy thing to do. It's not. Very much not. You're constantly tested in all aspects of life. Hardwire, some of your brothers could definitely learn something from you. That's awesome, GBM. I appreciate you. That's awesome.
I always believe that some people are quick to try to react with violence, but I believe that diplomacy should always be first on your mind. Always try to solve things by
with
talking,
peace. Yeah,
with peace.
You don't need to get to
violence
that level.
Should be a last resort.
Yes,
but it is always on the plate. Don't get me wrong.
Of course, it's going to be there. If it needs to get there, we'll get there. You know, but it's last resort.
It should be an absolute last resort,
and
you should always keep. If you're a part of a nation, you should always keep the fact that you are not just involving yourself, you're involving an entire nation whenever you do things. So you need to keep that in your mind all the time. And you have to think, I don't want my brothers to get hurt. You know, even if it's just you one-on-one with somebody, it's going to end up involving everybody. And you have to think, you don't want your brothers to get hurt. You don't want other people in the nation to have to go to war. Those are the kind of things you just don't want. You have to always think about that.
And it's not only when you're wearing your cut either. Think about, when you got your cut off, that still doesn't give you, free reign to just do whatever. You're still a part of that club. I mean, how many times have we seen in the news where this dickhead goes off and does something, not even in his colors, but then it goes right onto the news. Boom, so-and-so MC tied to that. It's like, you have to think so much further. You have to think for the betterment at all times. You can't ever sit there and try to be selfish, because it's not going to, if you're going to be selfish, this is not the life for you. That's what I've kind of come down to. A man without self-control is as a city without a wall. I like that. Hardwire would be the type to sponsor you, would learn from without being intimidated, chill guy. And that's the way to do it, man. And to be able to really learn the culture, man. Having people like Hardwire in your life, man, this is how you learn. And you know, like for me, that's what I love doing. I love being a sponge, being able to soak up as much information as possible and learn, because we're never too good to learn.
Never finish learning.
No,
No
exactly.
matter how many years, if you've been doing it for 20 years, you're always learning.
There's always something to learn. And what I decide, what I've picked up on is, if you're not learning, you're dying. You know what I mean? And so I don't know why it's oh, I already know. No, if you already knew, I wouldn't be correcting you or saying something, right? You know, it's like it's hilarious how it works. But Evil, club or not, you're representing a lifestyle, represent with style. That's right, Evil. I see you. Kickstands down. That's right. Never. I think it's crazy. We got MCs out there denying blessings to new clubs, but act like what we've been seeing. Of course, folks new to the scene don't want to be a part of that, but still want to be, still want to MC. I understand what you're saying there.
I can say something about that.
Sure.
When a club sees a young club wanting a blessing, they also have to think, do I want these guys representing us? Because you ultimately represent the club that's above you
when you get blessed by them, right?
And there are a lot of clubs that are really green, want blessings. They think there's a lot of Sons of Anarchy guys out there that want blessings. You just can't give them to some people.
No, because they can ruin the culture,
ruin a lot of things. They could get you in trouble. They could get everybody bad name in that area. There's blessings don't get handed out unless
it's earned.
They earn it first, and then they deserve it, and they're going to represent you well. Again,
I think it's a lack of people looking big picture when let's say you get denied a blessing. You know, you really have to go, okay, well, what is it with us that we got denied? Because it's not because, oh, these guys just want to have power over us and they're just saying no. There's a real reason. And it's definitely to make sure that, like he was saying, you're representing, even though your nation's on you, you got blessed by a dominant, nation. And so at all times you are representing them, even while you're representing yourself. So it goes deeper than just what it looks like, right? So yeah, man, what do you think about the show here with the Breakfast Club, man? How cool was that?
Oh, your show is always awesome, man. I enjoy it every day. I look forward to it.
No, I appreciate you coming on, man. It was a super honor for you to, first of all, come down here, hang out, hang out for 4th of July.
I'm hoping to try to kind of make it a regular thing. Come down and visit.
Come on down, dude.
And maybe we can get more of the guys come, and maybe we'll try to set up a get together.
And by then we'll have the barbecue ready. We'll go ahead. And we'll start.
Have a cookout.
We have a huge, property here that we can have. I mean, we could have a decent amount of motorcycles here. You know what I mean? People pull up, and it'd be super cool. It'd be like a total compound.
I met Mike's daddy.
Yep, there he is, right there. Boom. Kind sir, appreciate you. Yeah, man. So I really can't thank you enough. I hope that all of you guys got to enjoy, hanging out with Hardwire today. This was a really, really huge blessing. It's not every day that you can get somebody of Hardwire's caliber onto a show. It's very hard for a lot of people to trust media sources because, a lot of the times these media guys, YouTubers, whatever the case is, they're looking to get clicks, views, money, right? So a lot of the times they will jeopardize the integrity of whatever it is to essentially for them to win selfishly, right? So, and I hope that this is proof as well to the media is that you can absolutely have a great conversation, but you don't need to, bring down or even talk about specific nations or anything like that. You can do it with just having a good, simple conversation. So I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys, much love and respect to everybody. I think, I'm thinking that I'll have a show tomorrow morning. I'd love to do it. We're back in action on the monetary side of things. We're going to go ahead and make sure I'm thinking what I'm going to do is every Saturday, I'm going to do the members only live streams for you guys every Saturday. Monday through Friday won't change. It'll stay that exact way, but then we're going to go ahead and do the whole members live only on Saturdays. So maybe we will start that tomorrow.
I didn't notice if Dr. Harley was in there. Was he in there today?
Yep. Nope, not this morning. I didn't see him this morning.
Oh, Dr. Harley, what the heck?
But
somebody get on him.
Yeah. I'll rent a nice park for that. Yeah, exactly. My dad's like, nope, we'll go ahead and have everyone over there, right? Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for the kind comments. You guys are legendary. I feel more than honored, having all of you guys here. I couldn't have the show without you guys. You guys are 50% of the show. No cap, right?
50,
what I mean?
yeah, 70%.
Yeah, well, I'd say higher than me. Yeah, that's true. It's true. You guys are the 70%. I'm the 30%. How about that?
No, it takes everyone to make an awesome show.
It does. So
everybody together is 100%.
That's right.
It's not
that's
fair
what matters.
To divide it up into percentages. It's a group thing.
It is.
It takes everybody.
It is. So if you guys enjoyed the video, man, please make sure you guys like the video. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube. Sharing it obviously is like word of mouth for the street, but for the internet. And if you guys would like to help out, yes, I'm monetized again, but it will be 30 days until I see a paycheck. So if you guys would like to help out at all, we've got monetary wise, we've got Ball Valve on Cash App, $ Ball Valve. We have Venmo @Ball Valve, and then we have PayPal, ballvalvetv@gmail.com. I very much appreciate you guys. Go and follow me on my Instagram, Ball Valve TV. And, you don't necessarily want to shout out any of your social medias or anything like that, right?
No, I'm going to eventually start my own YouTube channel. It probably won't be biker related.
Cool.
I'm just going to get on there and vent my things I think and feelings and
on whatever the case is.
Politics.
Sure.
Everything. Ask Mike. I never shut up.
No,
I'm
it's great, man.
Giving my opinions about things. And I understand everybody has opinions, and maybe some of you can get on there and we could chat about anything. And I look forward to it. I think it'll be therapeutic for me, even if nobody watches it.
Trust me, it's like I was telling you, is like doing this show has been extremely therapeutic for me, having all of you guys here. I don't just say that. It's very much true. I like that Kickstands Down says 85%. Yeah, bro. I got you, Frank. And I want to give a special we've got 2 of them here. We got Kel in Canada with the YouTube membership, as well as Wild Bill. Appreciate you guys sincerely, man. It means the fucking world. Much love and respect to you guys. And still breakfast time. That's right. I see you over here, Road Rage. You're fucking crazy. And Chris Sutton, I always appreciate you as well. You're an amazing person, man. I thank you so much for you being here as well.
We got a heck of a good group in there. All good people. It's fun to chat. We don't always agree,
right?
But, it's a good time. It's always a good time.
But even when we don't agree, there isn't like this crossfire craziness. It still is respectful, and I really, really enjoyed that you guys can show that kind of maturity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then you can all go, hey, you're full of crap. No, you're full of crap. Right. Okay, let's have a beer.
Yep. Exactly. So with that being said, everybody, I thank you so much. We'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow morning. I'll let you guys know on the Instagram side of stuff. And tonight, if you see it posted up on YouTube, we'll be live. Appreciate everybody, and we'll see you guys in a bit. Much love and respect.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken, he rides on 2 wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only can be restored. He takes his stand, refusing to submit.